is Rambling Hour with Lisa, Season 8, Episode 10. And I am coming to you live from my bedroom. I'm going to put some cream on my face because I just had a shower and my face feels dry. So I am very, very late today because I am shit with my time. And I had plans for today, but they didn't go the way I wanted them to. So, excuse me, the only thing that I wanted to be able to do my workout before I did my live, because then I thought about doing that. Okay, so Thomas is painting his bedroom, so he didn't want Nova in his bedroom while he was painting, so he wanted to watch Nova in the living room. So I said I would do my live from the bedroom. Don't forget your neck when you moisturize, because the things that tell your age the most are your hands and your neck. You want to know how old someone is? Look at their neck and their hands. It'll give away your age. Yeah, Nova, Thomas wanted to watch Nova in the living room while the paint dries on his walls in his room, because he doesn't want the dog hair and everything in his room. So I said I would do my live from my bedroom. And then I did, I thought, oh, okay, I'll put on my pajamas and stuff. But I wanted to have a shower and get my pajamas on and have already done my workout so that I was comfy and in bed and I can just watch TV, because Steve's out with his mates because it's Sunday. And so that was my plan, but I've done everything except my workout. So after I'm done my live, I will still need to go and do my workout. So pajamas on, pajamas off, do my workout, and then pajamas on again. But I've already had my shower, so even if I do my workout, I'm not showering again today. I'll shower tomorrow. But yeah, so I have been outside doing work, but it says I've done 9 out of 30 minutes of my workout today, so I still have quite a bit to do. So, and because Steve is gone, I'll just do the elliptical for my workout today. But that's okay, because I can watch Gardener's World downstairs while I do my workout. Hi, Mom. So, some trivia things for you. This is my Aladdin pajamas. It says, I wish for more sleep, which is crazy. I could sleep for the Olympics. I could sleep anywhere, anytime. But this shirt would be good for Steve because he's the one who needs more sleep. I'm good with the amount of sleep I get most of the time. Most of the time I get enough sleep. But so let me tell you. Okay, so for those who don't know, I love Aladdin. It was my favorite cartoon growing up. And my 15th birthday and my 18th birthday were Aladdin themed. So I love these pajamas. And the pajama pants are really cute, and they could go with many, many shirts. But it does actually go with these pajamas, as you can see in the back. It's got the thing to... so that is what's up with the Aladdin pajamas. And another thing, this is one of my very, very favorite gifts I've ever got. When we were teenagers and young adults, instead of buying everybody gifts, once all of us had boyfriends and girlfriends and everything, and the family was just too big to buy gifts for everyone, so we used to draw names amongst the kids and their partners. And one year, my brother's girlfriend at the time had my name, and she bought me this old-fashioned teddy bear as my Christmas gift, and I have loved him since. His name is Chachi Magoo, and well, I had a bear named Chico McAllister and Chachi Magoo, and I'm pretty sure this is Chachi Magoo. And yes, and so he's always been, since I got him, he's always been the one that if I make my bed and leave my bed, he sits on my bed. So he is one of my favorite gifts ever, and I thought because this is a theme, the theme here is me being in bed, you would love to see him as well. And hello, Auntie Diane. So, Chachi will stay there where you can see him. So, that's the Aladdin, that's Chachi. This plant is actually from the bathroom. I have a few plants on the window ledge in here, on the windowsill, but I don't really have a lot of plants in my bedroom because Steve doesn't sleep well, and so it gets light really early, in the morning, or whatever, and if he still needs to sleep. So it has to be really dark in here. So lots of times the curtains just stay closed the whole day. So there's no point in me having plants in this room really. So, but I brought this in for the aesthetic. It's one of the ferns from the bathroom, which is why it's actually healthy, because I'm not as good with house plants as I am with outdoor plants. Sam says, good evening, beautiful lady. Hope you're well. Thank you, Sam. I hope the same for you, and that you've had a good weekend. And everybody else, I hope you've had a good week, and whatever else is new. I'm going to fix my ponytail because I don't like these bumps that I did on the side here. Well, I was in a rush for, you know, being late, super late, but not super, super late for my live. You'll still get an hour out of me, and for those of you watching at a later time, it won't affect you at all, because, you know, that's the convenience of having this go onto my Facebook for people to watch later, is they can watch it when it's convenient for them. Yeah, so yesterday and today, yesterday me and Steve went outside. The plan was, we've been planning for weeks to work on a big tree out in our back. I needed some branches cut off, and I'm fine with all the gardening, but the chainsaw, the thing is, the chainsaw is really heavy, and to get up and do some big branches, because the chainsaw is heavy, it's not that I don't think women can do it, but I think it was just safer to have somebody who has more strength than me to do the chainsaw. So the thing was that I couldn't do some of these branches myself with the chainsaw, or it wasn't the safest thing to do, and I'd rather not injure myself just out of pride. So I was waiting for it to be a nice weekend for Steve to be able to do it, and we needed nice weather. So finally yesterday we were able to do the tree and take some of the branches down. That took all day, just cutting the branches down. I mean, we knew this before from cutting another tree down, but what you see when you think, oh, I just want that branch down, and then you cut that off and it comes down and it's like a whole huge tree in itself, you don't realize how big some of the branches are until they're like on the ground. So yesterday we cut down a bunch of branches. I did add pictures to Facebook, but it's still a little bit lopsided. There's still a few that I need to take off just to make the tree look nice. But those are ones I can do with a small saw myself now, and we ran out of time yesterday. So, especially because half of the stuff that we had to take down was on the property behind us where the apartment buildings are. So we had to cut all that down and then throw all the pieces over the fence. So I have this huge pile of branches and everything from what we cut down. And so today I started putting them through the wood chipper, and it's going to be a long process. That's okay. I know Steve has helped me with the part that I couldn't do myself, which was the chainsaw part. So I don't mind. I could use a chainsaw on the ground, like cutting logs and stuff, but I didn't want to use it up in the tree to do those. But he's helped me with that part, but I overworked him yesterday and broke him, because for those of you who don't know, he has a broken neck, and he has discs, like damaged back from car accidents, and yeah, and from rugby. So I overworked him a little bit too much, especially twisting and working up in the tree. So his back is really killing him today. So sorry to my love for that, but I do appreciate him cutting down those branches. So that is what we've done this weekend. Yesterday was just cutting them down. Today was trying to feed him through the shredder. So I got some of that done. On Friday was our second youngest, Aurora's 17th birthday party, or not birthday party, birthday. So we had Chinese food for dinner, which is great, because we ordered Chinese food on Friday, and I always buy like way too much on purpose, so then we get to have it for leftovers. So we had Chinese food Saturday, and then there's still a bit, especially rice and chips, left today. So supper was easy to take care of, but I made chicken breast on the George Foreman tonight to go with the rest of the rice and stuff that was left. So that is what I was doing right before my live. Like I said, I wanted to try and get my workout done before I started my live, but that didn't happen. And yeah, what else did we do this week? Let's all send some loving energy and hugs and snuggles out to my little Spencer. Samantha has kept me updated, but he has bronchiolitis. That's what it's called, I guess. So it's not bronchitis, and it's not tonsillitis. It's called bronchiolitis, something like that. And so he's in the hospital with a breathing tube. He's doing all right, but he just needed to be in the hospital for a couple days because he's having trouble breathing because of this. So let's send him our hugs and snuggles, and big hugs and snuggles to his mom Samantha, because having a newborn is enough work, let alone having a newborn with a 4-year-old and a 14-year-old, and then having that newborn have to go to the hospital and everything else that sucks in life sometimes. So I'm trying to think back to my week. I have so many plans for my lives now, my rambling hours, and I'm really glad that I'm kind of glad that it starts to get dark about 6 now. Well, it doesn't get dark at 6, but it's like dusky, and it's kind of like, it's just not the great environment to be outside. You don't feel inspired to keep working on something. So, but it's kind of good because then it gets me in the house and I can do other things. And I have plans for my rambling hours. And the next few weeks, because it's October, I think starting next weekend, I'm going to start with the Halloween episodes. And then I'm going to do a bonus episode for reading some stories to kids for Halloween. And I already ordered one book and it arrived, and I'm very excited about that. So I'll let you guys know what day I'm going to read the kids' books and what time it'll be at, so that all the little munchkins can watch live. And if I know that they're watching, then I'll say their names on my, or if I know that they're going to watch later. If you want me to say their names, let me know, and I'll mention their names while I'm reading the stories to the kids. And then also, like I said, the Halloween episode, so I'm going to do that. Unfortunately, I'm not going to do a haunted house this year because I think I waited too long, and Steve said about talking to the round table and everything. I have to do it like 6 months at least before, because there's a whole process. Because it's a committee and stuff, it's not just one person deciding and saying, yeah, you can do it. So I kind of waited too long to figure it all out. So I'm not doing a haunted house this year, but I'm still going to so I'm going to put all that Halloween energy and focus it into my rambling hours and make them special. I still don't know what I'm going to do for my big, like, Halloween special like I did last year, where I was the mad scientist with Erica. But if you have any ideas, let me know what you want me to do, and I might choose your idea. Otherwise, I'll figure something out. But I know that the Halloween episodes, especially the big one, will be exciting. So, yeah, I'll have to get some stuff out of the loft in the Halloween decorations just for that. But, yeah, and then I have some other plans for rambling hours, and I'm really going to try and put focus into them. And one of my goals, I'm just going to shut my Wi-Fi off. Okay, sorry about that. I'm back. So one of my goals I'm starting right now is to choose my outfit and my theme for my Sunday rambling hour by Friday, Saturday at the latest, so that I can do my little Bitmoji cartoon and I know what I'm going to wear, and I don't have to rush around doing that. Because I just posted my Bitmoji cartoon like right before 8 o'clock, like 3 minutes to 8 o'clock. And yeah, so there's no reason that I can't figure out my outfit and my theme a day or two before my Sunday rambling hour. Some of it has to do with the mood I'm in, but like I can plan better than this. I know I can do better. So, and I shouldn't be late. It's a very unprofessional, and there's no excuse for it. So I will work on that. But yeah, I have some exciting things coming up with the rambling hour, including wanting to have more guests. So I have people that I have talked to and that I will be having as guests. But also, if you would like to be my guest, then let me know, because I would love to have different guests. I think it makes it more interesting. And like I said, I know my listening skills, and I think I did all right talking to Chantel, and the things that she said last week made me feel really, really great. But I watched it back and listened to it back, and I still need to work on letting the other person talk more than me. So if and when I have a guest, I need to make it about them instead of me. So I will work on that as well. But I can only work on that if I have guests. So sorry about that. Maybe shutting off my Wi-Fi wasn't a great idea. Let me know if I'm glitching or anything for you. If it does that again, maybe I'll turn my Wi-Fi back on, because I have seemed to have been doing well with my Wi-Fi lately. So, what was I saying again? Oh, making my rambling hours, yes, even more interesting and putting more time and effort into them. I mean, it's still going to be the same thing. It's still me rambling, but I don't like to do anything half-arse, should we say. So if it's going to be a thing, it's going to be a thing, and I need to put more love and energy into it and make it an even better thing. So if you have any suggestions, any feedback for me with what you love about my rambling hours, or what you think I should do differently, then let me know, please. So how is everybody today? How has your week been? What have you been up to? Was there anything else that was interesting for my week? I'm just trying to think. End of September, now it's October. My birthday's in a few weeks. I'll be 44, so that's interesting. Nope, I can't think of anything. So, garden time, just getting things ready that way. Trying to be outside a little bit, getting the house, you know, clean and organized, which is an ongoing thing that happens continuously. But yeah, no, life is good. And just been dog walking with Steve to do my exercise, and that I still haven't added my yoga and shred back on, but I will do that. Tomorrow's Monday, and it's so, I mean, I gotta just, no excuses, I gotta just do it. But it is like, sometimes I wish I had the house to myself, but Allison doesn't have a job or isn't in school now. Aurora gets Mondays off from college, and so Erica's going to school tomorrow, but so Steve, Tom work, so I'll have 2 of them home tomorrow. But even if everybody was gone, I still have to watch the puppy during the day. And again, there's no excuses. I've worked out with dogs and puppies and cats and children, little children before. So if I really want to do it, I can do it. But yeah, I miss having days to myself with nobody at home. But even then, the hours go by so quickly. Before you know it, it's like after school time and dinner time and spend time with your husband or wife or partner or whatever time. And yeah, so the days just seem to go by quite quickly. But that's only because I'm like really selfish and I want time, lots of time to myself to do everything that I want to do. But I try to balance it all. So I think I'm doing all right. I think I'm an all right mom, all right wife, all right friend. And what else can you ask for? So let me check if there's any comments. Nope, no comments. Just a few people saying hello. But yeah, so season 8, episode 10. So we have, oh wait, hang on a second. Okay. I might not take a gap in between season 8 and 9 because I don't want to miss any weekends in October because of Halloween. Everything's too exciting. So if today's the 2nd, let me do some maths. So the 2nd, then the 9th, then 16th, and then 23rd, 9th, 16th, 23rd, 30th. So those will be my lives. So the 30th will be the one right before Halloween. So that'll be the really spooky, dooky one, the really interesting one. And then I'll have, so the 9th, the 16th, and the, so if this is episode 10 right now, that would be 11, 12, and the week off would be the 23rd, which my birthday's the 21st, which means my birthday's on a Friday. But I don't really need to take it off, and I'd rather do something exciting for Halloween, but let me think about it, and I'll see if I'm going to take the 23rd off or if I'm going to just keep going through all of October, because when you have a theme and when you have something to go on, even though it's the rambling hour and I want it to be like a general thing where you never know what's going to happen or what's going to be said, because that's part of the fun of it, and that's how my brain works. You never know what's going to come out of this trap. But at the same time, when you have a theme or something to go with, it makes it more exciting a little bit, and I get more like pumped up to do it, and that it makes it more interesting, I think, too. So look at my big wet patch on my, this is like that, one of those things, I don't know, like with arms, like a chair for your bed. Hello, Samantha. Hope you're well. Hope little Spencer's doing well. We were sending him love and hugs and snuggles. Yes, so that's a baby picture of me from when I was like 1 year old or such. 1 or almost 2. Yeah, so October. There's a lot of October birthdays in my family. I've been having dreams about like some deceased people. So I dreamt about my dad, and I dreamt about my Uncle Ed, and that's my dad's oldest brother. And it didn't dawn on me until I thought about it later, because sometimes it's like that. That in my dream, my Uncle Ed looked younger and healthy and good, and in real life he was blind since his 20s, and he lived until his early 70s. But in my dream, I don't know if he was blind or not, but I just know we were sitting around a kitchen table, but that I thought he looked really good for, you know, he just looked healthy and good, and my dad was there too. So now, as I'm awake, I realize that that is probably a visit from them, right? So it's not necessarily a dream. It might be their spirits visiting to say everything's good, and that yeah, that they're doing all right there on the other side. So Auntie Dan says lots of birthdays this month. Paul's October 10th. That is also my October 10th is my stepson Thomas's birthday. He'll be 21. And Uncle Arthur is the 17th. Travis, which is my Uncle Arthur and Auntie Diane's son, is the 19th, which is was my dad's birthday. And it's also a cousin on my mom's side, Dustin, his birthday on the 19th. And my friend from, like, I've known him since I was 13, Daryl, his son Devin, his birthday's on the 19th as well. And then mine on the 21st. And then Everly is on the 27th, which is Uncle Arthur and Auntie Diane's granddaughter. And also Auntie Tina, my sister Tina's birthday's on the 27th. And then the 29th was my grandma's birthday, my mom's mom, and she lived with us from when I was 2 until I was like about 16. So we always had that birthday to celebrate in the house as well. And then so grandma was the 29th, and then my brother's wife, Tara, her birthday's the 30th in October. So yeah, it is. I remember when I got pregnant with Aurora, I got in trouble from my family, and they're like, don't you know the family rule? And I'm like, what's that? And they're like, abstinence in January, abstinence in January. We don't want any more October babies, because my due date was October 8th with Aurora, but I ended up having her September 30th. So she ended up being a September baby instead of an October baby. But yeah, there is a lot of birthdays in October. So it is a celebration month, definitely, but autumn. So you know, and actually, I think it was Allison who said that she loves that I decorate for the seasons. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. It is crazy how, like, so if I have a light colored tablecloth on the dining room table for like summer, and then just changing the tablecloth to a brown tablecloth for autumn, and putting up those autumn colors and everything, it just, the house feels spicier and warmer. Well, are we back? The spicier is my air fresheners with like a nice autumn spice smell. And yes, just decorating for different seasons, changing the decor. And I'm talking about, like, that's why I like to have like neutral walls, neutral couch, that kind of thing. So then even just changing the cushion covers for the color and such, it changes the whole environment and the feel, and I love it. It doesn't have to be complicated. It can be so simple, just a few things that change, and it makes it change, like, so that a couple throw blankets, the cushion covers change color, and like I said, the dining room tablecloth changes, and then a couple decorations, and it just makes it feel so much different. I absolutely love decorating for the different seasons. Well, not necessarily the decorating. Sometimes it's a lot of work, but I like the feel and the difference in it. So I wonder if I should turn my Wi-Fi back on. I don't know. Hello. How are you? It is just a little Erica. Okay. Yeah, I'm all messed up here, so I can't charge your phone yet. So I'll do it after.
It's fine.
Love you. You coming in?
Nope.
To say hi?
Nope.
Good night.
Love you.
Love you, night.
Bye.
So yes, it is interesting how that can change things and how it feels, and I do love it. So I didn't do an autumn theme today though, just because I had to think quickly when Thomas said he asked me where I was doing my live, and he wanted to be able to be somewhere with Nova, so I said I would do my live up here. And I had thought about bringing some of the autumn theme stuff up here, but then I didn't have any pajamas that really worked with the autumn theme. And I thought, oh, actually, I have to say, give a shout out to my husband too, because I said to Steve that I was either going to do my live from here on the bed or over in the corner there where I have done it before with these big red chairs that we have in our room and with the red curtains as a background. And so while I was, what was I doing before? I was downstairs doing my posts and stuff and figuring out what I was doing. While I was doing that before he left to go play cards with his mates, he cleaned up that corner and made it look nice and everything for me to do my live from that corner. And when he came downstairs, when he was leaving, I said, oh, thank you. That's so sweet, but I'm doing it from sitting on the bed. So I said, I appreciate the effort. So yeah, I want to say thank you to him for getting that spot ready, even though I didn't use it. I did take a picture of it though, because I'm happy that he did that for me. So, yeah, shredding the tree outside is a lot of work, and it's going to take me quite a few days. But it's a process because I want to dig out the pond. I know I've said this so many times. I want to dig out where the fish pond is going to go. But I didn't want to do that until, because we had to go over, you know, over to the other side of the fish pond to cut the tree and everything else. So, and that's where actually the whole pile of stuff that I have to shred is on top of what would be the fish pond. So now that we've like trimmed the tree, and once I get that all done and cleared up, now I can dig out the pond, use the soil from the pond that I'm digging out in the raised bed. And it's like a whole process, but I didn't want to do any of that stuff on the ground until the tree was done. Now the tree has been cut, so I need to plus I need to empty all my compost bins and sift it and take the good of what we call black gold, which is a nice good compost that's already composted, so it looks like soil, but it's compost. And yeah, and bag that up. And then whatever isn't composted yet, I could either put it back into the compost bins, but what I'm going to do is put a layer of it in the raised bed before I put all the dirt from the fish pond on top, and then that'll break down slowly over the next few years, and it'll put nutrients in the raised bed for plants. So it's like this whole like cycle thing that I have to do in the garden, and it's a lot of work. It's not like something I can do in a day, but like one step at a time. And I can do all myself. I put anything really in the middle raised bed right now because I shoved all the cannas and bananas and dahlias and anything that is going to be overwintered in the greenhouse. Sorry, I think we're back. Anything that needs to be overwintered in the greenhouse and stuff, but I'm letting it have more time outside before the frosts come, just to, you know, have a good life. Because some things like cannas, no, like dahlias, you don't actually lift them until the frosts kill off their leaves. I think I could probably lift them early. I mean, they're not really blooming that great this year anyways, but I'll do it the way I usually do it. Plus, like I've just said with everything else, I don't really have time to do that right now. But, oh, the other thing I need to do, although me and Steve have talked about getting one big new greenhouse instead of my two small greenhouses, I don't think that's going to be done this autumn. So I'm going to have to overwinter things in the greenhouses I have, which is fine, but some of my glass is broken. So I bought the glass cutters and stuff, but I need to set up the workbench outside because I need a flat surface to work on, and I need to do the glass cutters and cut. I have a whole greenhouse of extra glass, like a third greenhouse that somebody was giving away for free, and I got all the glass for it, but they're too big. The panels are too big for my greenhouse that I have, so I need to cut them down into the size and pieces that I need. And yeah, anyways, I need to get my greenhouse winter ready is what I'm saying. I need to take everything out, clean all the glass that's there, add the glass that's broken, like new panels, and then bubble wrap it, and which is insulation for the winter, because if I'm putting heat on, even for a couple hours or however many days when it goes below zero, and I have my plants in there that I'm going to overwinter, I don't want the heat escaping that easily. I don't want to waste money, you know what I mean? So not only that, I need the frost to stay out of the greenhouse. I need the heat to stay in. So I really need to make it all, you know, waterproof and, you know, whatever, so that the draft proof, I guess, like, yeah. So obviously a new greenhouse would be a wonderful thing, but I'm grateful just to have greenhouses. So I'll do my best to bubble wrap them and do what I've done all these years since I've had the greenhouse, which is, you know, and overwinter my plants like that because I know it works. So, but anyways, my point was that something that I haven't had to do in the past that I have to do this year is cut some agricultural glass or horticultural glass, whatever you want to call it, the agricultural glass for my greenhouses. So that's a project, that's something that I need to focus on when I get on a nice day, when I can set everything up and get out there and get it done. And if it works well, if they, you know, score and break and they're the right size and it's that easy, then I can put them in, whatever. But it's glass, it's tricky, and yeah, luckily I have so many panes, like if some of them break while I'm trying to get them to the right size, you know, I have some wiggle room. But I don't know what I'm going to do if it doesn't work, because I'll have to find some kind of plexiglass or something to fill in the spots for, because if I just duct tape like clear plastic or something over the places where the glass is broken, with the rain that we get in the winters here, the duct tape, like it's not going to work. It's not going to do the job the way I need it to be done. So, and they don't make bubble wrap the shape of the greenhouse where I can just slide it over. Like I could use a tarpaulin, which is the long way of saying a tarp, but I would need like for it to be still be an effective greenhouse, it would need to be a clear tarp, right? But even that, the air could go on. Anyways, so wish me luck with that. It's just another thing I have to do out in the garden. So there is lots to do in the garden, but at the same time, I still have to do the other things, you know, like, raise kids, run a household. There's the Halloween stuff that I said, which I'm excited for. I still haven't bought pumpkins. But, yeah, there's lots of things. But life is good. Life of a gardener. Life of a spoiled gardener. That is what my gardening show should be called. Yeah, so what else is new? So we have a family group. Well, we have ones with Steve's family and ones with my family, and there's one even with both families together. But people are talking in Steve's family group right now, like, and I just keep getting messages on top that I keep getting distracted by. So I know that right now it is 9 p.m. here, but I was late, so I still have lots of yabber time. So give me some things to talk about if you can think of any. I told you what we had for supper, so I haven't really eaten yet. I had a few chips and a few bites of egg foo young and stuff while I was warming it up for Steve and getting it out for the kids and stuff, but I haven't, like, made a meal of it yet. I have a bit of beef Szechuan left, and I like how spicy the Szechuan is, so I'm going to have some beef Szechuan with some rice. And that'll be enough for me. What else is there that no, and if there's any egg foo young left, I'll have that, but and then any rice that's left, any boxes of rice that haven't been opened, like the fried rice or boiled rice, then I'll just put them in the freezer and we can have them later when we desire that. So there is episodes of Gardener's World that I need to watch that I haven't watched, but like I said, I can, while I'm working out, after I'm done my live, I can do that, or I can, after I'm done my workout and I come back up here into my cozy bed, then I can watch more Gardener's World. So I will get some of that done today. And I can always go to bed early too, because tomorrow is Monday and it starts the week and there's lots of things to do and life is life. And yeah, Aurora's not feeling well today. She has a sore throat. My father-in-law, so my mother-in-law, she had a hip replacement a couple weeks ago, or a week and a half ago. And then her husband got COVID, and he has to go He has, he's taking, I can't remember what it is, if it's like testosterone shots or something that he has to wait for them to kick in before he can do his radiation therapy for cancer. So he has his radiotherapy coming up soon. And like she's recovering from her hip surgery. Plus then he gets COVID. So that house is, you know, that's, you know, they have some healing to do there. So we can send them some positive healing energy. And if you don't know, if you don't think of yourself as a healer, that's okay, because prayers do work. Intention is everything, and putting those vibes out there, just thinking about sending them positive energy and healing energy is enough, because even if you don't have it in you, you're taking it from the universe, you know, from God, from source, from the universe, whatever you want to say. It comes in through you and to that person. So yes, when you send people good vibes, when you send people prayers, when you send people healing positive energy, even if you're not a healer, it's still, it all adds up. It's still great. So, you know, you can send that to them for that. And actually Steve's dad has radiotherapy for, he had a thing on his head that he had biopsied, and so he has to do radiotherapy as well. And I can't remember, I think his might have just started. Might have started a few days ago. Otherwise, I can't remember when it is, but we can send him healing as well. And, I mean, they're not the only ones. I'm just trying to think what's going on in the world around me, with, you know, close to me. I love that, that I could be in England, and yet, for anybody who knows me from back home in Canada and everything else, I could be sitting in a bedroom in a house in Canada too, because like we said when I was talking to Chantel last week, with technology like this, it brings all of us together, and the world has become a smaller place. So many of us can live all over the world, and yet we can tune in and connect like this. You know, it's like I have a friend who lives in Hawaii, and I get to see the delicious food she's making, and she's a police officer, and she just moved up ranks. Like, so that's really exciting, and she's in Hawaii. We went to high school together, and then I have, you know, friends who live in the States, which I guess I know Hawaii is a state, and then, like, where else? Just all, like, during different places in Canada. I have a friend who lives in Saudi Arabia, Steve's cousin, Tony, where did she move now? I can't remember. She has worked in a lot of places. I think she was either in Singapore or she's just moved to Singapore. No, I think she was in Singapore, and I think now she's in India. She teaches, so she moves, and you know what I mean? But we can just connect so easily like this, and I love it. So, like I say all the time, no matter where you guys are, I'm going to be the same place, same time on Sundays, the Rambling Hour, or sometimes I'll be a bit late. But if you know that about me, then you know that. I need to remind my guests too that they don't have to, but one of the things I like doing when I have a guest is if we both have a drink, I like taking screenshots of us having a drink. So, because I say it's like having a drink with an old friend. So it's like we're meeting for, you know, for a drink or a visit or whatever. Yeah, I'm at 38 minutes, so I have 22 minutes still to chat your ear off. So if you have anything that you want me to talk about, let me know in the comments. And we even talked about that last week too, about me looking natural, and sometimes I don't even feel like doing my hair or anything. And this is me with, like, literally ready for bed, like, wet hair, no product in that. So once this dries, because I have no product in it, it's going to be like, poof, poof ball. And no makeup, but I have lotion on. And like I said, when you're putting on your lotion, don't forget your neck, because your neck and your hands are what show your age the most. So yeah, pajamas and snuggly teddy bears, and I am ready for bed. You know, it's okay if you still snuggle a teddy bear. Lots of us will snuggle a pillow or a teddy bear if we don't have a partner to snuggle with. We're not meant to be like solo creatures. We're meant to live in a community. So yeah. Oh, he's so snuggly and cute. But yeah, so I wish I was ready for bed. I wish I could just shut this off and turn over and watch TV. But like I said, I have to go do my workout. Plus, I did not put the food away in the kitchen, and I doubt any of our children put the food away. I did notice when I walked by that they covered the food that's still out, so that's something. But yeah, I'll have to tidy up the kitchen. The kitchen's not too bad. It's just the Chinese food that's out on the side. And like I said, I'll get mine and I'll freeze whatever's left because it's not going to last another day. So yeah, this week coming up, there's nothing specific that I can think of that I have to do. It's just mostly the things I've already told you in the garden, which is a lot of things to do. But it's hard for me to say that the garden's a priority, although I like to do those things and I don't want any of my plants to die or anything like that because, you know, it is an expensive hobby and I put a lot of work into it. It doesn't come number one on the priority list. Obviously, anything to do with the kids and Steve and paying the bills and running the household, those are all like the first, and health, obviously our health stuff, those are all like the top priorities. So once all those things are taken, you know, care of, and I know that things are flowing, like I finally ordered Aurora's whites for college, like her chef whites and stuff, and her shoes and her bus pass, because that's how shit I am. It's October and I finally paid for her bus pass, even though she's been riding the bus this whole time. Finally, they're like, you need to pay for a bus pass or we're not going to let her on. And I realized, oh yeah, totally forgot about that. What else? Like I said, Aurora and Allison, they need to work on getting their drivers. And now Aurora's 17, so she can get her drivers. And Erica's in school. So Erica went to a play on Thursday, so that was the thing I had to do, was pay for that and sign the permission slip, but that was done, and she's gone to the play. It was called something Brothers, and she really enjoyed it, so that's good. She wants to be a drama teacher, so yeah. So like I said, I can't think of anything specific that we're doing this week. I still have to paint the ceiling in the bathroom downstairs. But I have actually, like, so I have cleaned this week and I have been getting more and more things done. Like with the home renos and everything, like, I don't even remember what, like, there's like frames and stuff off the walls that have been taken down, and now I've been slowly adding them back onto the walls and getting rooms back to normal. Most of the rooms, because of getting the wiring done, all the electrical work, oopsie, so the electricians would chase the wires into the walls here because they don't really have, most of our walls are made out of what's called breeze blocks and then plaster, so it's not like in Canada where our walls are made of 2x4s and there's like space in there to put wires, so they have to chase the wires into the drywall with the plasterboard, so they'll cut a line and then they put the wires in there and then it'll get plastered over. So lots of our rooms have like these open spaces where you can see the wires right now that need to be plastered over and then repainted. So that's something that needs to be done in the rooms. But other than that, I'm trying to make rooms look back to normal. So I have been doing that, and there's stuff in the bathroom downstairs that I was storing in there, stuff that needs to go in the garage. Oh, I did that this past week too. I cleaned the garage and organized it. So there's things like that that I need to do as well. Like the old cooker from our kitchen is sitting in the garage. I need to clean it out, and then I need to put new decals on it, like decals, like the you know, where it tells you how hot so if you didn't know that, for your cooker, for your stove, you can order new labels, like the decals that go on it, and put them on so that if it's wore off for whatever reason. So I need to clean that oven, put on new decals, and then we can sell it because it's still worth a lot of money, that cooker. But it's in the garage, it's taking up room. So slowly but surely I move around to each room and get things done, and yeah, slowly, but like, even, yeah, you know, all those things that, you know, if they get broken or wrecked or something and you're like, do I keep this and fix it, or do I get rid of it? Well, you don't want to get rid of it, especially if you're like me, where I'm thrifty and not wasteful. So if it's something that can be fixed, then I'd rather fix it than throw it out or get a new one, because that's wasteful. And so yeah, it's just those things. But instead of saying one day I'll get it done and then not doing it, I'm really going around room to room and doing these things that need to be done. You know, like I said, if there's frames that need to be hung on the wall in a room, doing that. If there's something that needs to be fixed for a room, doing that. So that is basically what my week is like. It's not anything specific, not one thing specific, but I'm still going to keep working on getting things done in every area. And it's all about balance, right? Just like my whole focus isn't just going to be gardening, but I'll do a little bit in the garden and move, you know, step ahead. And I'll do a bit in the bedroom, step ahead. I'll do a bit in the living room, step ahead, and just keep doing that. And that's what it is, maintaining life, enjoying life, and watching the kids get bigger and older and growing up, and it happens so fast. And yeah, like I said, our second youngest is 17 now, and the youngest is 14, and those aren't babies anymore. So no little kids for me. Not my own anyways. There's nieces and nephews and one day grandkids. But until then, it's even like me and Steve talk about, I don't know what we should be called when we become grandparents. Like, so I thought it was really cool. I heard somebody say Gigi for great grandma. They call her Gigi. So I thought that was good. But I mean, I have to be a grandma before I'm a great grandma. So I always thought Nana or Nanny and Pappy, but Steve does not want to be called Pappy. So, and Nanny, or Nana, like I'm a bit, Granny and Pappy. Granny, that's what I wanted to be called. I was like Granny, but Steve doesn't want to be called Pappy, and I don't think I look old enough to be a granny yet. So, I mean, it could just be the grandma or grandmother. Well, mother sounds too like ladylike for me, so it'd probably be grandma, grandmother. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to be called yet when we have grandkids, but it's also whatever that family decides that they want their parents to call their, what they want their kids to call their parents, right? So in our house growing up, my mom and dad's moms were just called Grandma and then their last name. So Grandma Malone and Grandma McDermott. But sometimes with my mom, we can call her Grandma McDermott, or sometimes I call her Grandma Marie. And then, yeah, because Steve's parents, we call him Grandma Trisha, and then Granddad, we call Granddad Chris and Granddad Pierce. But my dad was Grandpa Lloyd, Grandpa McDermott. So, yeah. And then there's like different nationalities and stuff, right? If you're Ukrainian, it's Baba and Guido. If you're Cree, which is a indigenous culture, one of the indigenous, like, not tribes, but nations. I don't know what it's called. Like, in North America with all the indigenous, there's different groups. They have different names and different beliefs and stuff. So the Cree are one of the ones that live where I grew up. And for them, Grandma and Grandpa are Mushum and Cookum. Well, Grandpa is Mushum and Grandma is Cookum. And so Baba and Guido, Cookum and Mushum. What did Steve said? I think in German it's grandfather. Grandfather. Like it's yeah. So what, and then French, mame, pape, like mamère, pépère, like grandmamère, grandpapère. I can't think of any other ones right now. And here a lot of grandmas are called Nana or Nan. So that's an option. Although because I'm the Canadian one, whoever, like the kids, when they have babies, their partner's parents will be English, I'm assuming. And so then they might be Nan because they're English, and I might be like, because grandma is more common for Canada, but I don't know. Who knows what they'll call me? As long as I get to see them. That was a long talk about just what to be called as a grandma or grandpa. But if you have any suggestions, if your kids call you anything different, or your grandkids call you something different and you like it, then put it in the comments. Let me know what you think is a good name for a grandma or a grandpa, especially when you feel... There are some people who didn't want to be called grandma or grandpa because they think that they're not old enough to be that, but which is silly, because if a 15-year-old has a baby and then that baby has a baby at 15, you could be a grandparent at 30, which I don't suggest. I'm just saying being a grandma or grandpa has nothing to do with age, but so I don't mind being called grandma or even being a grandma, but it's the I just think when I think of granny, I think of that being an older grandma. So yeah, I don't mind, but I have heard those cases where there's some grandparents who don't want to be called like even grandma or grandpa because they feel like it makes them old. Listen, whether you're called grandma or grandpa or not, if your child has a child, then you are a grandma or grandpa. So it's not about, like I said, it's not about feeling old or being old. It's just about the fact that it's another generation. So, boy, do I know how to ramble about nothing. Keeping a conversation going just with myself. If this is just me on 1 hour a week, imagine what it's like to live in my head for the rest of the week. And I still have like 9.5 minutes to ramble about something. What else is there? You know, I just heard Allison laugh, and I love, like, she'll be talking to her friends on her phone, and she'll come downstairs to get a drink or whatever, and I can say some silly things and make her laugh and make her friends laugh, and there's that interaction, like, with other people, and I'm just like, why can't I be that way when I do my lives? Why can't I say witty, funny things and make people laugh? Well, even if I did make you laugh, I wouldn't hear it, because, you know, you guys are silent right now. It's just a comment, but I just don't think of the witty, funny things while I'm on my lives, do I? But as also, like I said, it's playing off of each other, right? It's having somebody say something and then me say something back that's funny. I'm just messing up my hair even more. It's just it'll be fuzzy even if I don't play with it. But like, look, what am I doing to it? This is me being bored sitting in one spot, just fidgety. You can't see it, but I keep moving my feet too. So somebody gave me a thumbs up, but I don't know who it is or what it's about. But cool, thanks. We are almost done the rambling hour, and then I will do my workout, and then I will watch Gardener's World, and this is my life. Pretty much the same every week, as most of us pretty much live in. Listen, it's even if your life is basically the same thing every week, that's not a bad thing if you're happy and if you're content and if you like what you do, and you know, if you like your job or you like your family or you like your partner or even all three, that's even better. But yeah, it's not a bad thing to have a life that's very similar day after day, as long as you are content and happy doing whatever it is you're doing. And I know there is so many tasks that have to be done that we don't necessarily enjoy. Whether it's like dishes, laundry, changing a baby's diaper, fessing up to our partner that we scratched our vehicle or something. Like, there's lots of things that we don't want to do on a daily basis too, but we got to think about the positives, right? Having to tell your partner that you scratched your vehicle. At least you have a vehicle to scratch. And, you know, like changing a baby's diaper, not the funnest thing in the world, but you get to have a baby that you're either raising or taking care of and everything else. And, you know, like I said, doing laundry means you have clothes and you have a laundry machine to use. That's not a bad thing. And making dinners, at least you have food and you can feed your family. So there's always good things about everything, even the shit tasks that we don't feel like doing. Working out right now, I might not want to necessarily go and work out right now. Like, maybe I'd be more inspired if it was like earlier in the day, but I like the way I feel when I, not only mentally when I know that I've done a workout, but physically when I know that even though I've put on a bit more weight in the last few months because I haven't been working out, I'm still smaller than I have been for most of my adult life. And not only am I smaller, but I'm healthier. Because even though I snack and I need to cut that out and stuff, I don't eat like I used to eat when I was in Canada. Unfortunately for people in Canada and America is way easier to eat shit that, well, I mean, it's easy to eat shit here too, unhealthy, but there's way more fast food restaurants and options and stuff like that living in a city or living in North America. So it's way easier to just choose those bad options. Whereas if you live out of town in a rural place or in a small town, or, you know, where you have to make your decisions at the grocery store, you know, and stuff like that, it's harder to eat unhealthy, which is, I love that, that here there's not as many options. I hate it when I miss some of the food from back home, but I love it because like I said, I'm healthier than I have been when I lived in Canada because I'm not eating all that shit that I don't need. Except the cake. I say that, but I've been eating so much birthday cake. I bought a chocolate cake and a Victoria sponge cake for Aurora's birthday because I didn't know what people wanted, and I've been eating a lot of both of them. Once I start my yoga and shred, and once I start my eating healthy, you know that I'll be on it, and I'll be doing it. But until then, I'm kind of like the last hurrah, you know, just eating the everything. But yeah, I do need to figure that out. Anyways, my point was that even with shit tasks, there's something positive to look at. So we need to just remember to remind ourselves daily that life isn't that bad for most of us. Most of us have lots of things that we can be thankful for and grateful for. And to those people who are suffering with the hurricane damage, the war in Ukraine, all the you know, even COVID going around, like everything, all those shitty things and things that are happening in your community or to your family and loved ones, like hearts and love being sent to you to get through this trying time. Life will give all of us at least a few times that will very much test our strength and resilience in this life. But so if you're going through or struggling with that shit right now, you will get through this. It isn't to the end of the world. It sucks. It's hard, but you're not alone. It's easy to say when I'm in a comfy bed in my warm house, but yeah, if you need anything, you know where I am. And if not, I'm just sending love and hugs to everybody. So if you are healthy and happy and warm and cozy and life is pretty good, then say thank you and be grateful for that. And if you're going through a shit time, just take a deep breath and know that it won't last forever. Okay, I think we're done for another week, all right? Yeah. No, not quite done then. 3 minutes. I need to wee. I need to go wee. So I had that conversation with somebody a couple weeks ago too. Like here, I think I've told you guys before, the toilet, they say, where do you have a toilet? I need to use your toilet. And when I first moved here and they would say where are the toilets? It would make me like, bleh. Because even though they mean the whole room, as soon as they say the word toilet, I think of a dirty toilet and it just makes me gross out, especially in public, because I don't want to think about the public toilet. I just want to know where the room is so I can use the facilities, but I don't want to actually think about it. But so you know, you can say bathroom, but it's not really a bathroom unless there's a bathtub or you're bathing. A washroom, it is a washroom because if you can wash your hands and face, and definitely wash your hands after you use the facilities. Or a restroom, because there was a lot of them, especially in the olden days, where there'd be chairs in there and you go in and rest. Sometimes I call them the facilities, but they also call it a loo here. So using the loo. So sometimes if we're out at a restaurant, I'll say to Steve, I'll say, I'm just going to skip to the loo, my darling. And then I say like a whiz. I'm a whiz kid, whizzing all the time. So we all the way to the loo. So yeah, I need to, but I'm going to drink more pop, because what's better when you have to go to the toilet than to drink more? I could probably fill the whole 3 minutes just talking about toilets. Yeah, see, I only have less than a minute and a half now. So I hope everybody has a great week coming up, and that you have a wonderful Sunday. Love and hug your family, and your furry animals and look at the positives in life. And oh shit, I wonder how many of you guys remembered that last week I told you to have a pencil and a piece of paper. Let's do this. If you're watching this later, then you can, or if you're watching this now and you forgot to get a pen and paper, that's okay, because so did I. So you can do this when you're done. But we're going to do, this is the easiest and quickest. We're going to just do funeral plans, or, well, end of life funeral plans. Doesn't matter if you don't know how to spell. I'm going to write end of life plans. Okay. Okay, so we're going to do number 1. Buried or cremated or something else. And then I'm going to write my answer. I don't care, but I'd prefer to be donated to science. Okay, so that's it. We're starting the end of life plans. All I want to know, do you want to be buried or cremated? You could even just answer that. We're just going to put down the basics. We can go into detail later. It doesn't have to be now, but your question for the week. So I want you guys to do this. Just write end of life plans. I wrote funeral plans, but we're doing more than just the funeral plans. So get a piece of paper and a pen, write end of life plans. First question is, what do you want to happen with your body when you die? Buried, cremated, go into a environmental pod that decomposes in the ground. And if you're cremated, what do you want done with your ashes? We can do that later too. But just what do you want to happen to your body when you die? Donate it to science. Do you want to be an organ donor but not donate? Anyways, we're going to go all over these things. But the first thing, so cremated or, I mean, it's going to be easy for a lot of people because some people just want to be buried or cremated. That's simple. Very simple if that's all that you want. But there's so many other things, so you should look into your options too if you don't know what's out there. If you want to know more, you can contact me in a message and I can tell you and talk to you about more things that you can have done with your body and things that they're doing now. There is more options than just being cremated or buried, but it's a step. So end of life plans, you can date it. Let's write the date so that people who find this will know that we've been thinking about this it's the 2nd day of October 2022. So then they'll know how current these plans are. And even this is more than I've had written down in many, many years. So again, for end of life plans this week, your question is, what do you want to have happen when you die to your body? All right. So do that. Have this done by the time I talk to you next week. And then we will do a second question for next week. All right. Cool. There, I did what I said I was going to do, and I hope you are too, and we'll do this together so we have these things done so that our loved ones, because we're all going to die at some point, so it's better to have these things written down while we're still alive, because if we die and we don't have them written down, our loved ones aren't going to know what to do with us. All right? I love you guys. I will see you next week. Have a great week. Bye. Next week will be a Halloween theme. Spooky. Bye.